Hey guys, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another What's for Dinner video. So I had fun filming my last What's for Dinner video and I decided, well, I'll just do it again. And typically I film these usually over like 1 to 2 weeks, just depending on what we have. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm a full-time working mom and I have 2 kids who are 7 and 10. And so today I'm actually starting this video on a Thursday. It is 5 p.m. I just got home from work. I'm in my comfy clothes and I just ordered pizza. I ordered pizza and cheese sticks and salad, so when it gets here I will show you what we're eating tonight. Before the pizza gets here, actually I just wanted to mention that I do meal plan. And tonight I was supposed to make either tater tot casserole or chicken curry, both of which are delicious meals, but I had to pick the kids up from their after school program today. I got home a little bit later than I normally would have because I had to run some errands after work. And so I texted Adam and I was like, I just feel like not cooking tonight. I'm gonna order pizza. And he's like, yeah, totally. So usually Friday night is our pizza night. So I don't know if we'll just, you know, have that tonight and then eat at home tomorrow. Sometimes on Fridays we try to do like pizza and movie night. So like right now, Toy Story 4 just came out on DVD. So maybe we'll do that tomorrow and then I'll make something here at home. But it's kind of odd that this is a What's for Dinner and it's starting with a takeout or a pizza delivery, but that's just sometimes how we roll around here, and I try to be flexible, and sometimes stuff like that happens and you just have to do it for your own sanity. All right, I forgot to film before we ate, but here's what we got for dinner tonight. So this is just from a local pizza place. It's not like a chain or anything. So I got this salad with ranch. I can't eat anymore, I'm full. We got a half cheese, half pepperoni. This pizza is really good. This is like an Italian beef pizza with Alfredo sauce and peppers. It's really good. It also has mushrooms on it, but I always ask for no mushrooms because I don't care for them. And then I got an order of cheese sticks also. So we have quite a bit of pizza left over, but actually pizza reheats really well in the air fryer. And I'll probably take some for lunch tomorrow at work too. Welcome to Friday. I'm going to show you our fancy dinner tonight. So I'm trying to reorient my husband. He's been confused lately. Welcome to Friday. Today is Friday. So Connor already ate dinner. He wanted peanut butter and jelly. So that's what he had. Peanut butter and jelly and potato chips. And then I made some of these French onion soups from Trader Joe's. They've been in my freezer for a while. They come in like these big frozen cups, and then you have to use your own container. And I'm sorry, I do not know where these containers actually came from because a subscriber sent them to me, so thank you for that. But you just put them in here and bake them in the oven for 40 minutes. I put them on a sheet so that you know, I wouldn't get the oven dirty or anything. But I tasted one. They're still very hot, but they're really good. Let me know if you've tried these before. And then for Kira, I made her some tortellini. She loves tortellini with Alfredo sauce. This is just the tortellini from Aldi, and it's some jarred, I forget what brand, Alfredo sauce. And then with that, I'm going to give her some peaches and some cut up peppers. And then I already ate some cheese and crackers before this, like just some Triscuits and some cheddar cheese. So I probably won't need anything else for dinner. But originally, or sometimes we go out for dinner on Friday nights, or we order pizza, but we ordered pizza last night, so I didn't feel like cooking. So that's what's for dinner tonight. All right, so here is what our dinner turned out like. There's the mashed potatoes with the cider gravy, roast, carrots, and some rolls. Definitely make this recipe if you guys haven't tried it. I'll also link it down below. It is definitely a recipe that I have made many times over the years. It's delicious. We have finished cooking, or I have finished cooking rather, dinner for the night. So let me show you what we're having. So these are the spaghetti and meatballs. I just put them on a platter and we'll have those with some Parmesan cheese. I also made the greens with garlic dressing. So those look really good. Basically, I just put some iceberg lettuce, some spinach, croutons, green peppers, and cucumber, and I tossed it with the dressing in the bowl. Here is the fruit, the winter ambrosia salad. So I went ahead and mixed this up. It has the citrus fruit, pineapple, coconut, and cherries in it. The kids are really excited to try this. The meal plan didn't call for this, but I went ahead and made some breadsticks. These are actually filled with cheese, so like cheese stuffed breadsticks. And then, I also made the steamed green beans. Tonight for dinner, I am making lemon chicken, and this is something that I had every so often growing up, but when I make it, it never turns out exactly like my mom's, but I'm gonna try anyway. And I don't really have a link to this recipe, so I'll try to type it out in the description box below. But basically, I just have 4 chicken breasts here that I cut into like tenders, and then I just season them with salt and pepper. I have 4 lemons, so what I'll end up doing is just dredging these in flour and then sauteing them in a pan and adding chicken stock, sliced lemons, and lemon juice. And then with it, I'm going to make some rice, which is what I always had with it. So I'm going to make instant pot rice. I have 1.5 cups of rice here in this strainer, and I'm going to rinse it because I don't want it to be super sticky. When it's done, I want it to be more fluffy. So I'm going to put this in the Instant Pot with equal amount of water, some butter, like maybe just a tablespoon, and then some salt. All right, so in here I have equal parts rice and water, some butter, and some salt. And every time I make this, I always just Google it because I can never remember. So it just says to use the rice setting. And then once that's done, I'll let it do a natural pressure release for 10 minutes, and then it should be good to go. This is jasmine rice, by the way. So I think the easiest way to do this is just to put the flour and the chicken in a Ziploc bag and then kind of shake it around. So all the chicken's coated. I just have some olive oil heating up in a skillet here, and then I sliced my lemon and tried to get out as many of the seeds as I could because obviously I don't want those in the dish. So I'm just going to start my chicken sauteing in the olive oil. So what I'm going to do is put these lemon slices in here on top. I might cut up another lemon. And then just pour in the chicken stock. This is homemade chicken stock that I had in my freezer, so you can use whatever you have on hand. And then basically this is just going to simmer until the chicken is like cooked through and tender, and the flour on the chicken will help thicken up the sauce. And I'm going to add some more lemon juice also. So the rice is done, but I'm going to let that just sit for 10 minutes before I release the pressure. That's called a natural pressure release if you're not familiar with the Instant Pot. And then I'm just going to let this simmer for probably, I don't know, maybe 15 more minutes. On low heat, and then I keep the lid cracked just a little bit to let some of the liquid evaporate so the sauce thickens up. Okay, so the rice is done. It's just in here keeping warm. I can't cook rice. I'm very terrible at cooking rice, so the Instant Pot is how I like to do it. And then the chicken is done. So the sauce is pretty loose, and that's honestly how it usually is. I'm just going to let it cool for a little bit and let it thicken up. I did add just a little bit of honey to this because it had a really strong lemon flavor. This does have a strong lemon flavor, so just know that if you're going to make it. And then I made a salad, which is in the refrigerator. I just rubbed the bowl with some garlic cloves, and then there's spring mix in there with tomatoes, carrots, and peppers. And then I have a bowl here with some butter. I microwaved some peas, so I'm going to get those out and we'll be ready to eat. Okay, it is Saturday night. Here's what we're having for dinner. I made lemon chicken and some rice, and there's a salad with some garlic dressing. I can type the recipe out below, and some peas with butter. I have to thank my friend, I don't know how to say her name, Chapin, for sending me and the kids a bunch of treats from the UK. She sent me a huge bag of sweets, and then she sent me a bag of savory stuff too, but it's not here yet, so my kids are looking forward to trying these. And I also sent her a box of stuff too, so thank you so much for that. So I just have this chuck roast out here that's finishing thawing. It's still a little bit it's frozen in the center. I think I'm gonna go put it out in the garage refrigerator. And then back here I have some rolls rising. These are just the Rhodes rolls, so we're gonna have those with dinner. I am using a Instant Pot recipe that my sister told me is the best Instant Pot recipe for pot roast, so I'll link it down below, but it calls for red wine, beef broth, fish sauce, Worcestershire, garlic, rosemary, and thyme. So I'm looking forward to trying that. All right, so I'm starting to make dinner. I have a chuck roast here that I thawed out. This is about 3.5 pounds. I actually weighed it this morning. We actually get our beef from a local farmer, so this is part of that. I just salt and peppered it on both sides, and then I'm going to do it in the Instant Pot, so I have some red wine here to deglaze the pan. But right now I'm going to saute these onions in the Instant Pot on both sides, and then remove those and saute the beef. And again, I will link this recipe down below. So the onions have been seared, and I removed those to a plate. I put the seasoned chuck roast down in there, and I'm going to sear that well on both sides. And this is just on the saute function of the Instant Pot. Okay, so my pot roast is done searing on the second side. I'm going to try to get that out of here. Oh god, it's heavy. And then I am going to deglaze the Instant Pot with 1/2 cup of red wine. I have Pinot Noir. So that is just going to simmer. Let's see if you can see it here. And then the recipe says to basically scrape the, bits off of the bottom with a whisk while it simmers, and then we'll put the beef back in. The recipe also calls for 2 cloves of minced garlic, so I'm just going to use this garlic stir-in paste and put in about 1 tablespoon, and then whisk that around. Okay, so now that that has had a chance to deglaze, I'm going to put the roast back in. Oh my god, that's heavy. And then on top of that, let's see what it says. Add the beef stock. This is homemade beef stock. Whoops. And then next we're putting in 1 tablespoon of fish sauce, which I know sounds weird. This is going to be 1 tablespoon of fish sauce. Sometimes I get questions on where this measuring cup is from. These clear ones, they're from Pampered Chef. So go to a Pampered Chef consultant or a party and get you some of these because they're awesome. Okay, and then we need another tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. We're going to dump that in. What else? Oh, the fresh herbs. Okay. So I cut these from my herb plant that was on my back deck, which is now inside because it's been snowing here. So I have 3 sprigs of fresh thyme and about, well, it says 3 sprigs of rosemary, but these were pretty large, so I went ahead and just put both of those in. And then it says to cancel, so turned off. Put it on the pressure sealing. Oh wait, does it say to put the onions back in? So I'm going to put the onions back in now because I'm not, so the original recipe says to do the carrots in here, but I'm not going to do that because I'm going to do like honey butter carrots, which is what everyone here likes. So I'm going to put the onions back in now because we probably won't eat those. They'll just be for flavor. And then I'm going to seal this. Okay, put it to sealing. By the way, I'm working on a Instant Pot video, which you guys haven't seen yet, but you'll probably see shortly. Okay, so this says cook on high pressure for 50 minutes. So I'll just do manual. That automatically sets to high pressure. And then go up to 50 and let it go. And then we will let it cook until the time is up. Alright, so I cooked the chuck roast and then let it do a 20-minute natural pressure release. So it looks very tender. I'm going to take it out, strain all of the solids out of it, and then try to boil the liquid down so I can make a gravy out of it. I also have some carrots in this saucepan. I'm going to make honey butter carrots. The original recipe had these with the pot roast, but I wanted to make them separate. And then I also have some potatoes in some water that I have peeled, and those are going to be mashed potatoes. And here are my rolls. They look beautiful, that I'm going to bake later. I went ahead and put the beef stock in a fat separator because I wanted to make sure that I got most of the fat off. This is an OXO fat separator, which I can link below. I got it on Amazon. I use it all the time. But what I'm going to do is put this on saute and then take the kind of like little plug thing out of here. And then if you pour this in very carefully, just pour it until the fat gets down to the bottom, making sure that you don't pour that part in there. And then you'll separate most of the fat from the actual stock. And then what I'll do is reduce this with some butter and some flour and some red wine, and that will make a gravy for our potatoes. Hello friends, and happy Monday. Today, tonight for dinner, we are having some taco soup, which was one of my freezer meals that I made. I can link that video down below. It was a ground beef freezer meal video. So this was just frozen in a Ziploc bag and in a gallon-sized Ziploc bag. And so all I did was run some warm water over it in the sink until I could break it apart enough to fit it in the slow cooker. And then this will just cook on low all day. You do want to let it, bubble a little bit so that the ground beef gets really tender. And then tonight, I think we're going to have this with like some toppings, so maybe some, tortilla chips, cheese and sour cream, and then probably fruit on the side. And I might make some cheese quesadillas. Okay, so it is now 4:35. I just dropped Connor off at swim practice. And so dinners are going to be very sporadic around here for the remainder of the swim season, but I actually brought my taco soup with me in a thermos. And then I also brought a little container of sour cream and a plastic spoon. So this thermos, actually, I can link it down below. It's a larger capacity one. You can get them on Amazon. So I'm actually eating in my car right now because I'm gonna eat this and then I'm gonna run to the post office, come back here, watch the rest of Connor's swim practice, pick him up. Kira will eat later after her swim practice. Adam is getting off work at 5 to take Kira to hers, and then I don't know when he'll eat, probably when he gets home, who knows. So anyway, let me show you the soup. All right, so here it is in my thermos. I did throw some shredded cheese in there. I was gonna bring tortilla chips, but then I decided that I didn't need them. So that is what's for dinner this evening in my car. All right, so tonight is Tuesday, I think. Yes. I'm making one of the freezer meals that I made a couple weeks ago. This is the shepherd's pie one. So I have that video posted already. I'll link it down below. It's just like ground beef mixture on the bottom with veggies and then some mashed potatoes and cheese on the top. And then I just set out the stuff to make a salad. So we have some spring mix, tomatoes, olives, croutons. I have some ranch dressing, some Olive Garden dressing, some Caesar dressing, and this is a homemade garlic balsamic dressing that I made that's really good. I have cottage cheese and some fruit and some bread and butter, or bread and margarine. So this is Connor's plate. I'm going to call him to eat in a minute. So I just gave him some of the shepherd's pie with a salad with ranch, bread and butter, and some raspberries and grapes. So that's what we're having for dinner tonight. Looks like Murphy wants some. Okay, friends, happy Wednesday. I wanted to show you what we are having for lunch, for dinner tonight. I did order Home Chef this week. This video is not sponsored. I paid for this with my own money, but I do get Home Chef usually about once a week to once every other week. I usually either get 4 servings for us to have for dinner, or sometimes I also get it for meal prep. This is what I chose this week, was the chicken with Dijon demi-glace and creamy chive mushroom gnocchi. So we're gonna try that tonight. I went ahead and got 4 servings. If you guys wanna try it out, there is a link in my description box. No pressure, but you can get $30 off your first box. which if you order 6 meals comes out to like, I think 30 bucks, which is a good deal. I really like Home Chef because their app is super easy to use, and it's super easy to skip weeks or whatever, just right on your phone. So what all came in the box for tonight was some chicken breast, some gnocchi, Parmesan, some cremini mushrooms. I'll probably cook these up separately since Adam's the only one that likes mushrooms. Some spinach, chives, and then some sour cream Dijon, some chicken demi-glace concentrate, and then some butter. Sometimes what I do when I get stuff like this is like I have a container of sour cream in the refrigerator right now, so I'll probably just use that. And then I like to save these for when Adam and I take like taco salads or something like that to work, because these are super convenient to take. So I'll show you the process of dinner tonight. This looks delicious. I might add some corn on the side because I have some frozen sweet corn in the oven. We'll see. So I've got my spinach chopped up, my chives chopped up, my mushrooms are chopped up back here. I'm going to saute those separately. And then the chicken is seasoned with a little bit of garlic powder and some pepper. Alright, so my chicken is sauteing. I'm going to finish that on the other side, and I've got my mushrooms going back here also. Chicken's done. I went ahead and put it in the oven on warm, covered with piece of foil. I've got the gnocchi in here crisping up. I put some spinach on top of there. I'm just going to put in some water and then put a lid on it and let it steam. Alright, so here is what the chicken turned out like in the sauce. It looks delicious. Here is what the gnocchi turned out like. Oh, it's fogging up my camera. I tasted it. It's really good. And then I just have the onions, or I'm sorry, the mushrooms rather, keeping warm in the oven till Adam gets back. He just took Kira to swim practice. Tonight is Monday evening, and this is the last dinner meal that I'm going to have in this particular What's for Dinner video. So tonight I'm making broccoli cheese soup in the Instant Pot. I'll leave a link down below for the recipe that I used as inspiration, although I probably don't follow it exactly. But in my Instant Pot here, I sauteed half a stick of butter with onion, carrot, and garlic. And then I put a bag of frozen broccoli in there, along with some homemade chicken stock that I made earlier today. I'm going to use Velveeta instead of cheddar cheese, just because I have some on hand that I want to use up. And then I'm also going to make some ham and cheese sliders in addition to go on the side of the soup. So in this pan, I just have some Hawaiian rolls. These are not the sweet Hawaiian rolls, they're just the butter ones, and they have a little bit of mayo on the bottom with some pineapple ham from Hy-Vee. I put some cheddar cheese, Swiss cheese, put the top on. There's a little bit of mayo mustard on there, and then I'm going to make the butter sauce to drizzle over the top. This container over here is Kira's. She doesn't care for ham or cheese, so I just make hers plain with turkey. And then I'm going to make the butter sauce to go on top of it, which is just melted butter, Worcestershire, and a little bit of Dijon mustard. You can also put poppy seeds in there. I don't really care for those. I think my kids would be like, what is that? But so I don't add that, but definitely your choice. I'll link this recipe down below as well. Okay, so I mixed together some butter, Worcestershire, and a little bit of mustard. Just melted it, and then I'm going to cover these with foil, put them in the oven at 350 for, I don't know, around 15 minutes until they get kind of, you know, golden and melted all the way through and hot. Alright, so in here, my broccoli is done cooking. So there's chicken broth in there too. I went ahead and put the Velveeta in and put this on saute. So I'm just going to kind of stir this around and let the cheese melt. And then stove, I made a white sauce. So This will be quite thick, and this will actually thicken up the soup. So there's 1/3 cup of butter, 1/3 cup of flour that I cooked together, and then just put in about a cup or 2 of milk. And so once that thickens up into a thick sauce, I'll put it in the soup and see if I need more milk. Alright, so the soup is done. I just have it on keep warm. You don't even have to puree the broccoli or anything, just because it falls apart after you stir it up. So I put the white sauce in here along with some shredded cheddar, a little bit more milk, and then I just seasoned it with some extra salt, pepper, and garlic powder. And we're waiting for the sandwiches to get done cooking in the oven. And then I just put out some raw vegetables. So I have some broccoli, cauliflower, cucumber, carrot, red peppers, and then some of this chive veggie dip. Alright, so here's our dinner tonight. Broccoli cheese soup and ham and cheese sliders, and that is it. And then we have our raw veggies over there, which I already showed you. So thank you so much for watching this What's for Dinner video. I will see you in my next one. Bye.